morning. It is 4:48 a.m. and I am buzzing like a bee. I'm meeting Sam at the gym and I am super excited because I'm deadlifting today, and when I focus on training a lacking body part, I just get totally obsessed with it. And right now that's my back, and so I've been getting super addicted to deadlifting and just seeing like the progress with weights and my form and whatnot. So I was texting Sam last night. He was telling me that he's working on a new training program right now, and I told him, well, I'm hitting a pull day today. And so we agreed that he would record some of my deadlifting stuff and I would hit arms with him. So, but nonetheless, I'm super excited to get deadlifting, and I'll see you at the gym. As I previously mentioned, I started this workout by doing some deadlifts. I started by working my way up to 415 pounds, as the red plates are 50-pound Olympic weights. And then by throwing on the 5-pound plates, I went up to 425, which is the most weight that I've ever attempted at deadlift. So before today, my max was 415 deadlifting, and so as you can see, I just failed at 425. I worked my way down. I did go down to about 235 for a few reps just as a cool down, and then we begin to jump into our arm workout. So I begin this bicep workout just by doing standing strict curls. This way I can get a lot of blood flow in my muscles just by doing it slow and controlled with light weight. I always do weight that I can control, because if you're jerking it around, it's not really doing any good. After the standing strict curls, we do a preacher curl. Preacher curls help the bicep width, so you're hitting more of your inside bicep brachii as well as the outside, so you get a little bit more of that width look. After hitting these bicep curls at the preacher machine, we go on to hit our triceps. I begin with a close grip bench, and I typically like to do, when I'm hitting triceps, a close grip at a decline, because even with a standard grip, because of the angle, you kind of use more triceps anyways as you push the weight kind of towards your hips rather than coming straight up. So I get a little bit more contraction when I'm on a decline with, of course, the close grip. And then here you can see Sam spotting me pretty hard. We almost always do forced reps as our last few reps. As research suggests, the last 5 reps of every set is like the target range for hypertrophy. So we typically go until failure and then do a few forced reps just to get those, squeeze out the last bit of the lemon and squeeze out every last bit of your glycogen stores.
Oh my god.
After the close grip bench, we go into some standing hammer curls or pinwheel curls. So this is also a good exercise for getting the bicep width. I always used to train bicep peak, so your standing curls, just your typical easy curl bar curls. So these pinwheel curls and hammer curls, just like the preacher curls, help hit the inside of your biceps. All right. If you use 2 of these things, so much better. You go all the way down rather than like when you got 1 rope and you're just like right here. It feels all weird. It's hard on your shoulders and stuff. Boom. 2 ropes all day. So much better. These hammer curls or pinwheel curls are an exercise that you can pretty much control in your mind how much work you get out of it. So if you really think about that muscle contracting, you get a lot more work than just slamming around a lot of heavy weight. freaking me out with that. Drop the weight now, I can't pick it back up. Messed up my vibe. That was an awesome workout. I got my deadlift in and we hit our arms pretty hard. It was good working out together again because we've talked about in the past how neither of us really wanted a training partner. We're both pretty motivated. You know, I've always gotten really good workouts in going in by myself, and I know Sam can say the same. But I had a friend who introduced me to Sam in November of last year, and I was just telling my friend at the time, I said, you know, I'm really wanting to compete in bodybuilding competitions, and he kind of knew like what was going on with that, but I'm not sure if this is like focusing or not. Actually, let's go this way. So my friend knew that I wanted to compete in bodybuilding and get on stage, and so he introduced me to Sam because Sam also wanted to compete. And so I just went up and we shook hands and kind of introduced ourselves to each other. And over Christmas break, we decided we'd start training together come January once we go back to school. And we did. And that's when, I'll speak for both of us in saying, that's when we found out really the importance of having a training partner, because though we're both motivated and like we can get a really good workout in, I'd like to say that I can get a better workout in than just an average Joe in the gym by myself. But when we started training together, like the forced reps and the negatives, and plus Sam is a physiology major, he's just taught me so much. Like, I just wanted to talk about like the value of having a training partner. So like, you may be able to train really hard by yourself, but you can only do, you know, say you're benching 225 and you do, you know, 6 reps. Well, you might only do 5 or 6 if 6 is your maximum ability, just because without a spotter, like, you'll drop that thing on yourself. So like, having a spotter, having a training partner who's willing to push you and go, you know, do 10, 12 reps of that 225 rather than 6, that's been a huge part of our training program. I would also like to say that having a bad training partner is worse than having no training partner.
It brings you down, right? Because you're feeding off of each other's energy. So when you have a training partner that's lackluster in their motivation and their will to succeed and stuff like that, it's a intoxicating thing, whether it's positive or negative. So oftentimes you need to be careful who your training partner is, because you may find that you have worse workouts because you're feeding off of their negative energy opposed to the positive energy. That would be preferable.
One of us could come in with the energy and the other person could feed off of it. So at the very beginning of the workout, so come the end of his prep, you know, just a couple weeks ago, he'd come in there just dog tired, with just the intent just to move some weight, right? But come the end of the workout, we're both giving it 110%, because when he's doing the workout, so say we're benching, if he's benching and I'm standing there spotting him and I'm feeding him, like, you know, that energy verbally, you need that in order to get into that next level of training. And so, yeah, so feeding off of energy is a really important part of having a training partner too, because if one person comes in flat, the other person can make up for it just in, you know, verbal and physical motivation, I guess. So, yeah.
Research kind of suggests that willpower is a finite resource. So What that means is you only have so much of it that you can give. And we talk about that with personal training quite a bit, because you're always trying to save as much willpower as possible, because it makes it easier to make good decisions. For example, like prepping meals so that when you're hungry and your willpower is at a lower level than normal, you're able to just eat that meal, and then that way you don't slack off in your diet. And in the same way, when you're working with a training partner, what you find is when you're in the middle of a set, you've completely drained your willpower because you've just been hammering these reps. But this other person has been resting for several minutes, so they have an abundance of willpower, and so they're able to kind of give you some of their energy, I feel like, in some way, and it helps you work harder.
It was fun.
I'll see you later, bye.